Have you had your
Mike?
Yeah.
We're going to stop this. We're going to do a new one. Okay.
Okay.
Speedway Tavern. Speedway Tavern. Speedway Tavern. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. What's the news today? Have a drink, have your say. All opinions here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Weddy, GA, and Matt are here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Come and have your say.
So smooth.
Yeah, I didn't know what was happening. Hello, everybody.
No, I didn't.
Well, as everybody can, welcome to the Speedway Tavern, by the way. As everybody can probably tell, we're back on Zoom. We're really extremely happy about that, aren't we, Chris?
Hate it. I absolutely hate it. I really am. I really
So happy about it. We haven't allowed Matt in,
do. That's a long, long story.
isn't it? Just
I'm not going to say anything.
yeah.
I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till Matt comes on.
Yeah, hopefully Matt will be joining us soon. I hope so, because the combined knowledge, Speedway knowledge in here has gone down by about 90%.
90.
Yeah.
I'd say 99%.
Is that
Easily,
okay?
easily.
Okay. Well, yeah. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Obviously, we're here tonight because we want to talk about the GPs and the British final, and I think we should start with the British final and the news that nobody wanted to hear. The good news is it is still going ahead after Boris Johnson's announcements today, but the bad news is it's now going to be completely behind closed doors. I've got the statement from the BSPA here, and I think the best way to get the information is to just read it out to you. So if the dyslexia doesn't kick in, here goes. This Saturday's British final at Ipswich will go ahead, but very sadly without fans in attendance. The meeting will now be solely behind closed doors, a live-streamed event as a consequence of the Prime Minister's Tuesday update imposing significant new COVID-19 restrictions on the country. Our information is that the remaining pilot schemes to bring fans back into stadiums for elite sport in restricted numbers have been suspended, as have plans for a more general return in bigger numbers next month. We recognise the disappointment this will cause to those supporters who purchased tickets for the event, but the situation is totally out of the control of the British Speedway Promoters Limited, along with Ipswich promoter Chris Louis, who has done everything possible to get this event to take place as planned. Chairman Rob Godfrey said, "It's a hammer blow for the sport, and I feel particularly for Chris and his staff at Vauxhall. He's been burning the midnight oil to plan everything, starting with 2,200 supporters, then down to 1,000, and now it's 0, though something not of our doing. And now he will be contacting people to arrange refunds. However, we've been determined to provide the British final to our public, so the meeting will go ahead. And what we can still achieve is for us to use it as our own test case in terms of the demand for live streaming for Speedway events going forward. All supporters who were due to attend will be contacted in the coming days regarding a refund of their £20, and I would urge them wherever possible to reinvest the £12.95 of that to purchase the live stream. We must stress that this will be a high quality stream with professional camera operators, graphics and commentary, and we have brought in people who have great experience in the field of live streaming ice hockey matches. I'd also remind everyone that the official programme is still being produced and will be sent out in advance of the event. I've seen a proof and it is a fantastic read with several human interest features, plus the race card, of course. It will be a real collector's item, especially in such an unusual year. So again, I would urge people to order a copy. I can't overemphasize how much of a financial gamble we are taking by going ahead with this. And now we do need people to support it in as many numbers as possible. The riders are all keen to go ahead with the meeting. They have all been making their preparations, and this now requires a united effort from everyone who loves the sport to make it a success. And I think you've got the links for the live stream and for the programs there,
I should
Chris, so we will make those available to everybody.
Yeah, okay. Good stuff.
Not the news anybody wanted, of course.
No.
And it's horrible times we're living through. And it's difficult.
It originates aside, doesn't it? Every time we're all going,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
know. But
I was starting to get excited for this Saturday. I haven't got tickets. I couldn't get the tickets, unfortunately. I would have brought one if I could have got one. But I'm going to watch it on the live stream, and but it sort of feels a bit. I'm still going to watch it, of course, but it is. We were saying earlier, it's a little bit difficult at the moment to garner any enthusiasm for any sporting events, really. Yeah, I don't know what to say.
No. Alan Atherton, British final behind closed doors. Even all, I hope you're all safe and well in these bleak times. Well, there you go. Alan also says that the same streaming company are doing Bellevue's event on Thursday.
Yes, I saw that. So that's some more Speedway. I think that's £10, that one. I think there's a link on the Bellevue site for that. Anybody interested in?
What do you think? What do you think regarding the prices? Do you think too much? Or?
Personally, I mean, they're right when they say they're taking a gamble here.
Yeah.
I mean, there is an outlay for them in the people that I have to employ at the track, and all the things that fall on the back of that, like electricity and St John's and riders, of course. So the only thing I would say is if you do feel that it's too expensive, personally, I don't. Personally, I think that's okay. It's not too, it's about right, I would say. But if you do think that it's too expensive, then actually the best way for them to bring the price down is for as many people as possible to get on the stream so that they'll feel, oh, well, we can bring the price down.
Yeah.
That's supply and demand, I think it's called.
Yeah. I mean, it's never going to be the same.
No, it won't be the same. It can't possibly be the same. It won't be the same for the riders either. I mean, they'll win a race and who are they going to wheel it to?
That's right. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you know, I mean, you're a Birmingham City. I was going to say football supporter, but I don't think football falls into that category. But
That's just reminded me of the old Jasper Carrot joke. I don't like football. I support Birmingham City.
Birmingham City,
Yeah, so
yes.
there you go.
And you were saying earlier to me before we came on the show that you're finding it difficult to garner enthusiasm for
Yeah,
a behind closed doors sport,
yeah.
sitting at home without people around you.
It's a strange one, and I'm not alone. A lot of fans can't get that enthusiasm up for the game.
Well, it's at least 50% of the experience is the experience,
Of course,
shared
yeah.
experience.
It is, yeah.
And I think we're all missing that in all walks of life now. I'm missing live gigs. I love watching live music and seeing bands.
Yeah.
It's not happening. And I think we're all missing that shared communal experience at the moment. And I guess it's something that we've got to go through.
Yeah.
Um,
Alan says £10 bang on, but line up nerds to be better for the British final, in my opinion.
I think they've done. I think it's probably a case of they've got the best that they can. I mean, there are riders that are in Poland and so on that possibly don't want to make that financial commitment of getting bikes over.
Yeah.
And you can understand that in the present
crikey,
climate.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult one, but I mean, the biggest talking point, I guess. Let's get on with the British final. And I've probably got a different opinion to most people, or certainly most people that I've heard voice opinions about this, which is the Jasper. I'm going to say Jasper Carrot. Then that's your fault. The Jason Crump situation. Jason Crump, obviously Australian, although born in Bristol.
Yeah.
Taking part in the British final.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people, I don't think it would be overstating the case to say that they're up in arms about that and, saying it's wrong. And
people aren't happy.
People aren't happy about it. But then again, you get to see Jason Crump.
Yeah.
And I just say, at one hand, people say, well, it should be a better lineup. And then on the other hand, they say, well, let's bring in Jason Crump because that'll improve and that'll be a talking point. And so the Swiss can't win on that one.
No.
I don't know. I am very loath at the moment to criticise the BSPA, which is a very unusual situation for me.
Yeah, for anybody.
It is an unusual situation for me to be in, but I think like the rest of us at the moment, they're just doing the best they can in what is, this has never happened before.
No.
This is unprecedented. It's the true meaning of the word unprecedented. It's never happened before. We're all making it up as we go along.
Let's hope it never happens again.
Well, that's a whole another story. Don't get me started on that one. Maybe that's a show in itself. Yeah, maybe that is a show in itself.
Yeah,
actually.
Lawrence Roger says, all credit to Bomber for doing the British final, then flying out at 6:30 Sunday morning to ride in the world-long track in Poland.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah,
needs must.
I think it's one of he loves that meeting, doesn't he? I think he wants to win it again. I think he has a chance.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about this. You look at that lineup, and you don't know where anybody is in their preparation. Who's managed to get laps in, who hasn't managed to get laps in. All of the whole COVID situation rolled up in one. You don't know who's going to come out on the day and just have a blinder.
Yeah.
And then there's pretty much most of those riders have that potential in them. It is a strange. Shall we go through the lineup actually? And I'll highlight who I think are the possible winners. Lewis Kerr from Kings Lynn at Eastbourne, number one. Yeah, I'd say he's an outside bet. The other proviso on this, of course, is that this is at Ipswich, which is quite a technical track, and I don't know who's good at this track and who isn't so good at this track. Drew Kemp, obviously it rides for Ipswich and Eastbourne, both technical tracks. So he's got a chance. That would be a breath of fresh air. Danny King from Ipswich and Paul. Danny obviously is a previous winner, but we don't know what state his preparation is, how many laps he's managed to get anywhere else. We don't know. But he is a possible winner, I would have thought. Chris Harris from Birmingham and Peterborough. Do you like the way I switched those round then?
Yeah. Sounds better as well, doesn't it?
Okay. Well, I think so. Again, previous winner. I think 3 times, I think I'm right in saying. Certainly a few times anyway. What's he been up to in this very, very long winter, summer, autumn?
Yeah.
We don't know. Steve Worrell from Bellevue. Josh Orty. I don't think Josh, is particularly his sort of track. Richie Worrell from Edinburgh. Josh Bates from Somerset. We'll leave number 9. We'll come back to that one in a minute. 10 is Carl Bickley from Berwick and Bellevue. He's a real outside bet, but, Richard Lawson from Sheffield and Eastbourne. Tom Brennan from Eastbourne. Ben Barker from Somerset. Ben Barker, this could be, he spent many years learning his trade down at Plymouth, which is a similar sort of size track. So
seems to have been around for years, Ben Barker.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah. He used to say he couldn't wake up. Don't know. Edward Kennett from Eastbourne. Again, he's good around tight technical tracks. A lot of experience. Paul Stark, this is probably not going to be his day, but you never know. Rory Schlein, another possible winner, I think, from Wolverhampton and Somerset. It's, you can't immediately look at that lineup and say, that's who's going to win it. So, I think it will be interesting from that, particularly, as I said, because of we don't know where people are in their preparation, in their fitness, in their mind, even,
Yeah.
And then we come to number 9. I said we come back to that, which of course is Jason Crump. Now he's rides for Ipswich currently, but he's never. I don't think he's actually ridden for them once yet. He's supposed to be riding for them this year, of course. I think I'm right in saying Jason's 40 plus.
Yeah,
we'll leave it to that.
Gotta be.
Yeah, and I've been hearing lots of people saying, "Oh, it's Jason Crump, so he's going to win this." Really? I wouldn't put it past him, but I don't think he's an out and out favourite.
Okay, so who is the out and out favourite, or is there an out and out favourite?
For me, there's not an out and out favourite.
Yeah.
For me, possibilities of Drew Kemp, Danny King, Chris Harris is a decent outside bet. I would say Jason Crump's, he's going to be there or thereabouts, but I don't think it's a conclusion. Edward Kennett's a good. I think I've mentioned them before, and Ben Barker would be an interesting one. Yeah. I think that would be very much an outside, but I wouldn't put it past him. Rory Schlein, of course. So, yeah.
Interesting times.
Anybody else's thoughts on that?
Yep. Lawrence says yes, Bomber. 3 times British champ so far.
I like the confidence because Lawrence, of course, usually works in Bomber's corner. Lawrence, while you're on there, mate, how's the recovery going? Let us know.
Okay.
Because
Yep. He also says Brummies Jack Thomas has driven out to Poland to try to get some rides. Good luck to Jack.
Yeah.
Alan says, what's your thought on Newcastle looking to build a new stadium track?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. That took me by surprise, to be honest.
Yeah. Never mind the present climate with COVID and that, but the present climate with Speedway itself,
Yeah,
it's a strange one.
It's a statement, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a bold statement of intent and confidence in themselves and the sport. I mean, all the best to them is the first thing I need to say. We need more Speedway tracks that are built for Speedway. We need more. That they're for because at the moment Speedway is very much a begging sport.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, we beg, borrow, and steal from stadiums where we can. Usually, lots of greyhound stadiums, of course, and you know, there's been a few rugby stadiums in the days. You know, and I mean, let's look at Stoke, which is sadly no longer there, but it was pretty much a Speedway stadium. And I always felt if I don't know, Tony Mole was the promoter of Stoke, he would have made something. You know, there would have been a lick of paint around the place. It would have, you know, it was a perfect opportunity. It would be us at Birmingham, that would be perfect opportunity. Or what they've done at Somerset would be a good opportunity if we could get that sort of situation at Birmingham to build it up from the ground upwards, which is what I guess Newcastle are proposing to do. And I think, yeah, that's good and positive for the sport, and we need more of it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, good luck to them. Yeah. Good luck to them. I never liked the Newcastle track anyway, so.
That's okay. That could be another subject, actually. Tracks that.
I'm nothing against it. I think it's
I
think it's a perfectly fine track. I just never got on with it. I've seen some good racing there, usually with their riders coming past our riders, which is probably why I don't like it. But yeah, let's be honest.
Yeah. Alex Wilson says, "Why is Cook not racing?"
I don't know. I have absolutely no. It's been very quiet.
Yeah.
The only, you know, maybe he doesn't want to. Is the only thing I can say to that. I mean, you've got to remember, there's some of these riders of their source of income has been chopped out from under their legs. I don't know whether Cook's riding in Poland as well. Maybe Lawrence has got some information on that. I'm not. Don't think he is, but I don't know. But they've had their livelihood. Not just Speedway riders. I mean, it's all through the country. People have had their livelihood chopped from underneath them, and they've had to find alternative ways of making a living. A lot of these riders have had to go out and get jobs, and we've seen the news reports in the Speedway Star about the different jobs that people have been taking on. So it might just be that he's not available. It could be something as simple as that. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? I'm certainly not going to criticise any rider for saying, no, I can't do this, or I don't want to do this, while at the same time being very, very grateful to the riders that have said, yeah, I'm up for it. It's just a weird situation, isn't it? Weird situation.
Simon says, no cook in Poland, not good enough. I'm not sure whether it means no cook in Poland or no cook in Poland. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think he's saying no.
Cook in Poland? No?
No, I think he's saying no cook. I think he's saying he's not there because that's the question I asked him.
Yeah. Lawrence
maybe he's saying that they can't cook in Poland. I know.
Polish friends will be on there.
Yeah, I didn't say it.
Trust me, done, yeah. Oh, no, that's Russian. No, Lawrence says, no cook. Not in Poland.
Not in Poland, okay.
Yeah, okay. Duncan Pemberton says, hi guys, long time no here. Glad you're back. Well, that's another story. Why wasn't this meeting on Saturday be called the British Open Invitation with a different trophy? It's not really the British final, is it? Bah, humbug.
Okay. I understand the point of view. I just don't. It's another expense, isn't it? Why? Yeah. We've got a perfectly reasonable trophy. It is a British final. If Jason Crump wins it, he won't be the first Australian or New Zealand rider that's on that trophy. Name is on that trophy. You know, Barry Briggs and Ivan Major. There's been a few more as well, I believe. So it won't. You know, it's in Australia. They have the Australian final. And they have British riders in there.
Yeah.
They don't have. There's no argument about it. It's about having a good meeting.
So
I understand. So you know, I don't want to. Okay, so I understand where he's coming from. It is, isn't it, a British invitational? That's what it is. It's an invitational relay. Yeah. People haven't had to qualify for it, but that's the situation that we're in. It's the only way that it could be done. I think if you call it the British final, you possibly get more press coverage. it means there's no new trophy having to be ordered and all different rigmarole around that. I just think it is what it is. Embrace it for what it is, and hopefully we get to see some good racing at Ipswich, and that's the most important thing. We get to see some proper racing in this country. Okay, it's going to be on the internet, and it's not ideal. By all accounts, the company that's doing it know what they're doing. So, unlike us, really.
Yeah.
I heard that little smirk in your. So I knew exactly where you was going with that.
Yeah, just going back to our broadcasts, we're broadcasting when and if really.
Yeah, we're going around the GPs.
It was a shame. A couple of weeks ago, we all got back in the studio, didn't we? And it was
a brand new, beautiful studio.
Yeah, and that's the only show after spending over £1,000 in here. Yeah. That's the only show we've done in here all since March.
Yeah,
it's sad. So really, we're just doing it, and then we couldn't do one last week, and then
why couldn't we do one last week, Chris?
Oh, because I was on holiday. That's why.
You didn't finish that sentence.
No, that's right. Yeah,
I was on holiday again.
Yeah, and you was on holiday the week before, weren't you, as well?
I haven't been on holiday this year.
That is actually.
Oh God! Is that Mr. Buck?
Yeah, I'll get him on in a second. That's my first holiday. What are you on about?
Is it really?
It's my first holiday in over a year and a half.
Okay, well, let's not talk any more about your boring holiday.
Okay, then. Okay. Brian says Newcastle's present stadium is right in the middle of a residential area, so must be a prime target for redevelopment in the near future. So the new Newcastle promotion are wise to start looking at possible new sites.
Do you know what? I think they're wise to do it if they can afford it and it's all planned and everything. They're wise to do it, whatever. Because if you can get your own stadium, if you're in control of all the income of that stadium, which obviously Newcastle will be in a situation like Birmingham, where any of the stuff that's sold on the track, your beer, your food, your whatever, none of that income comes to Birmingham. It all goes to the Greyhounds.
Good evening, Matt.
Good evening.
It's great to be. Hello, how are you from sunny Wolverhampton? Is that now?
Matt,
yeah.
I can assure you,
make these government regulations so complicated.
Matt, I can assure you, we haven't told anybody what's happened.
No. However, now.
No, don't. It's too embarrassing. Right. So what happened was.
Have you put your trousers on there?
Well, we won't go there, shall we?
Really not. Really not.
Do you want to do a quick recap with
yes,
Matt? With Matt?
Yeah, Matt. What we've been talking about the British final. I presume you've heard the news that it's going to be behind closed doors.
Yes.
Yeah, which is everybody's
not surprised.
Not surprised, but lots of going on.
Yeah, definitely.
And we've just been talking a little bit about the lineup, and I've sort of said I don't think there's a standout rider that's going to win that.
No, there probably isn't, to be honest. I mean, for a lot of them, of course, there's not going to be really much of a form guide either, is it? So
exactly, yeah, that's exactly what. Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of people not happy about Crumpy, of course, riding in it, but
and a lot of people saying he's a surefire winner, but I don't see that. Do you?
Well, we haven't seen him ride for 8 years, so.
Has it been 8 years?
8 years, yeah. He did something. He did something in the winter, didn't he? Against a test match thing, Australia versus Great Britain, I believe, and I think that might have been what made him think. Oh, I think he scored about 10 points. So
yeah, he did okay. Didn't he? Rode in a couple of them against touring GP team, and did okay. Yeah. He was getting about 9s and 10s. So it depends on what your expectation is. If you're expecting the Jason Crump of 2006, then I wouldn't hold that to a chap at that. But
so I think he's in with a shout, but he's certainly, like a lot of people have said, he's surefire certainty to win it. And I certainly wouldn't say
he won't be the first non-Englishman to have won it, of course.
Exactly. What are your opinions on this? We've had somebody, just to bring you back up to date, somebody we've just been discussing saying that they should change the title to, I think, the British Open or the British Invitational or something like that with a different trophy. What are your thoughts?
Well, I suppose technically it is invitational, isn't it? Because there hasn't been any qualifying, so you could do that. I suppose. I think it's just nice that we're going to be able to see some speedway in the UK, even though we're not going to be able to see it live.
Absolutely.
Being there.
I think it just overcomplicates things.
Yeah,
just call it a British final and get on with it, watching some speedway. It really doesn't matter. It's a meeting with some sort of meaning attached to it. And there's a decent set of riders there. Somebody said they didn't think that the riders were great. I think that's probably the best you could hope for in the circumstances.
Yeah, well, it's a cobbled together lineup, isn't it?
Yeah.
So short term. So.
I would have liked, given some of the averages, some of the riders that are there, I would have liked to have seen Tom Bacon in there. But let's be honest, he's not going to win the thing, even if he is in there. I'd be very surprised anyway. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to go through the lineup for you, so you can give your comments on who you think might have a chance of winning. So we've got Lewis Kerr, Drew Kemp, who I've said has got a possibility. Danny King has obviously got a possibility.
Home track, of course.
Yeah, Chris Harris doesn't do too bad at Ipswich, from what I remember. And I'm always going to say he's got a possibility anyway. Steve Worrell, Josh Orty, Richie Worrell, Josh Bates, Jason Crump, we spoke a lot about, Kyle Bickley, Richard Lawson, Tom Brennan, Ben Barker's an outside bet, I think. Edward Kennett, obviously, I think again would be an outside bet. Paul Stark, Rory Schline's not a bad pick. So, what are your thoughts?
I think to me there's at least three names really that stand out for me. Danny King, obviously, home track advantage. Rory Schline, of course, rode at Ipswich for a couple of years. Yeah. And possibly Chris Harris as well. So it's really going to be with the favoured ones, the ones that are going to be the favourites. I think the beauty of this, I suppose, is because nobody's really done much in the way of racing, that you can't really look at it and say, well, he's the form guy, he's going to be doing it.
No, absolutely.
I should say as well, I respect the opinion of the riders who've decided they're not going to race in it. Of course,
I've already mirrored that. Actually, I said exactly the same.
Shut up then, shall I?
Yeah, no, that would be a first.
You're saying that?
Yeah. Fair enough. So, any more comments out there, Chris?
Duncan just says, I can see the Ipswich fence coming down a few times with that lineup. I mean, lots of rusty riders out there, lots of riders thinking I might have a chance here because of that. It could be quite spicy. Yeah. So, Duncan Pemberton says, quote Cookie on Twitter, unfortunately, I won't be riding with the notice given. I don't feel it was enough time to get prepared. Also, having a title on the line and riders doing so little riding isn't a great combination for safety.
Which is sort of the way of saying what we just said. Look, I they have to make their own decisions on this, and you just can't criticise them. It's a very personal thing, and those are all legitimate reasons.
And it's completely unforeseen, but unique circumstances as well.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah. I mean, if somebody turned up here tonight and wanted to come into the studio, I would just turn them away.
Yes, I've told him not to do that again.
Okay.
Sorry.
Chris letting the cat out of the bag once again. Right, we will. Oh, excuse me. We will probably come back to the British final. I think it would be a great place to end the show, but we should talk about the GPs.
Yep.
Can you say anybody beating Schmarzlik now? He was a bit special, wasn't he? I mean, there were some great races between him and Ty, but he definitely had the upper hand.
Yeah. I mean, you know, they always say it's harder to defend a title than it is to win one, don't they? And he maybe didn't have the best of starts in the first couple of rounds, but you know, he was excellent in Gorzov, and again rode really, really well in Prague.
He was outstanding in Prague.
Probably the racing in both meetings at Prague wasn't that great, but I don't think Prague's a particularly good racetrack anyway. But
yeah, I mean, I heard that, and I think particularly the first one wasn't. But there were some not bad races, mainly involving, as I said, Woffington and Schmarzlik. There were some decent races with both of those two, and it was nice to see Ty making a few better gates, shall we say?
Yeah.
Which always gave you always feel if Ty's in the frame, he's always got a chance. But the way Schmarzlik beat him up twice was breathtaking for me.
Yeah, I mean, and looking at it now, I mean, it does look like it's really a 3-horse race, doesn't it, between Schmarzlik, Lindgren, and Woffington.
Yeah.
But I think at the moment, really, Schmarzlik looks, you know, he's really been a class act, hasn't he, the last couple of years? Well, even the year before. I mean, you know, if there'd been another couple of rounds the year before, he may well have caught Ty Woffington with the form that he was showing. But
absolutely. And it would be interesting to see. Like, I haven't looked at this. I bet somebody out there has, to see if the last season of GPs had been run under the current format, whether the result would have been any different.
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I've quite enjoyed it, to be honest. I
have.
I think probably
there's something on the line right until the end.
Yeah.
That's the difference. There is always something on the line right to the end. I know there's always, you becoming the champion, but that was never the goal of the riders. It was all about getting the most points, because that's what wins the championship.
Yeah.
But now you have to win to get the most points. You know, there's no ifs and buts. And you can have a really bad night and scrape through to a final, as Frederick Lindgren did on a couple of occasions, and find yourself in, second place overall. I think it does make it exciting. It also means that it's not over. The top three, certainly, you've got Marta Schmarzlik on 29, Frederick Lindgren on 92, Ty Woffington on 89. You only need one of them not to make the final, and it mixes things up, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big talking point really from particularly the first one was the number of riders that ended up on warnings. It was, I don't think I've ever watched a meeting where there's been that many riders moving at the start and getting warned.
I did feel that the ref was leaving them at the tapes a little bit.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
So that might have played a part in it, but also it's Prague. Getting out the gate is premium, isn't it?
Prague is renowned as being a trapper's paradise, isn't it? So you've got to be making starts out there.
So that's going to make you a bit more nervous at the start, I guess.
I mean, Jason Dorval, I thought, rode quite well in both.
Didn't he? Yeah.
Other than the first couple of Grand Prix in, was it Roslav? I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Roslav, yeah.
Yeah, then, but he struggled in both of those, but he's done a lot better in the last couple of Grand Prix. He's up into the top six. Of course, it's the top six that qualify for next year's series now, rather than the top 8. So maybe starting to see, getting back towards some of the form that helped him win that World Championship in 2017.
What we should have a look at some of the riders that are out of that top 6. So you've got Martin Vaclik at 7. That's strange, isn't it? How well he rode.
Yeah, he's possible to deceive sometimes, doesn't he? Actually,
yeah.
I mean, he's a quality rider, but
Emil Sayfutinov.
I wonder whether with Emil, whether we're going to be at the stage eventually where we always talk about best riders not to win the World Championship, and he's You wonder whether his time's gone, to be honest. I mean,
yeah, he's not the same rider he was when he first burst on the scene, when everybody looked at him and went, "Oh, that's a future world champion." He sort of lost his way a bit, I think. Artem Laguta.
The enigma that is Artem Laguta.
Again,
brilliant from the gate, but
Max Frick, I think, is probably round about where we might have expected him. I think he's he's an improving rider there.
Yeah, he's done okay, isn't he? So
yeah. Matty Zagar.
Again, Matty Zagar, one of these riders that's been in the Grand Prix for a long time. I don't think he's ever going to be world champion, to be honest. But
no. But you wouldn't be surprised if he did manage it one year.
Possibly, no. I mean, Thomas Gollum, it took Thomas Gollum till he was in his 40s to win it for the first time. So.
Niels Christian Everson at number 12.
Yeah, it is quite. Nice. It is. It's quite packed in that sort of 6th to 12th mark, isn't it? Really. So.
It is, yeah. But the biggest surprise for me is at number 13 with only 29 points is Patrick Dudek.
Yeah, I mean, you think he burst onto the scene, didn't he? He was second in his first season.
Second in his first season.
Behind off badly last year, didn't he? And he hasn't really...
He just not looked the same rider at all.
I mean, I rate Patrick Dudek very highly as well. I mean, even before he was in the GPs, he was always somebody that impressed me when I saw him riding in the league matches in Poland. But he just, he sort of started off in a blaze of glory, but it's just petered out a little bit.
Then you got Mikhail Mikkelsen, Gleb Chuganov, Antonia Lindback at number 16. Could this be he's been around for such a long time and not ever done anything, has he really?
He'd won a Cardiff, remember?
I apologise.
I think it was 2015. I think it might have been 2015, 2016, something like that.
And then you're getting down to Thompson, Vaclav Milik, Edward Krashmar, Michael somebody or other I can't pronounce. I'm sorry.
Don't ask me.
And then you're down with the wild cards essentially. So there's a few riders down there.
But as I say, I mean this Friday Saturday thing has been pretty good so far, and I think probably the big benefit really is the fact that it's all been on permanent tracks. I think if you try to do it on a man-made, well, I say man-made tracks, I don't know why they call them man-made tracks because they're all man-made.
They're all man-made, yeah.
On the permanent, if you try to do it on a temporary track, like Cardiff, for example, you're running 40 heats in 24 hours. You might be pushing it a little bit. To be honest.
Might be. It does seem that. Have they found a winning formula with the doing it over the 2 nights? I know that's a problem then with somewhere like Cardiff, but it's sort of, I don't know. It's felt like, I've watched that. I can watch it again tomorrow. It's quite a nice dynamic, and also it allows the GP season to be over a shorter time. Which is going to be helping with fixture congestions.
Yeah, I think that would play as the British promoters anyway.
Yeah, and it would, and also possibly help with injuries. If it's over a full season, there's much more chance of particular riders getting an injury riding for their club or whatever. If it's done tighter, I don't know. And also, I thought it's worked quite successfully with having the European Championship.
Beforehand as well.
And doing it that. And I wonder whether there's now not if I could do it that way, if I could replicate that when we're not in COVID, please, when we're not in COVID, if I could replicate that, you could possibly have a situation where there is an open berth in the championship that the European Championship winner then goes into in the same year.
Yeah.
So that would be quite interesting. So anyway, my thoughts for what they're worth. So if you was going to put your money on somebody at this point, would you bet outside of Schmarzlik?
I think the big danger.
I know you want to say Frederick Lindgren. I know that you want to say Freddie Lindgren.
I think I was going to say I think Freddie's the big danger because he's making finals. At the end of the day, he's been really the most consistent rider in the field. But I think with in terms of out and out speed, I think Schmarzlik's got the edge on everybody. To be honest,
he was took my breath away.
Yeah.
Some of the passes. I mean, bear in mind it was at Prague, but and that passing is, it's all. Hasten. It's a little bit like Formula One's Monaco, but he was just well, I'm going past you anyway.
Yeah.
There isn't a gap there, but I'm going to go through it.
There's almost an arrogance in a good way, isn't there? I think with Smarty, because he's got confidence.
I tell you what it is. It's not arrogance in my mind. It's joyfulness. It's all done. Do you know where I mean?
No, I ain't got a clue.
No.
Fair enough. I'll go home then. Oh, I am home. It's done. It's not. Yeah, I wouldn't call it arrogance, but expectation maybe. But there's a joyfulness of I can do this. Hey, I'm going to go for it. That sort of vibe. So, yeah, I actually, would be given the entertainment he's given us this year. I'd be quite happy for him to win it.
I mean, he could go on to win it quite a few times if he keeps it up. So, I mean,
and of course, I'm claiming him as a Brummie. So,
one meeting, wasn't it?
I think it was 2 meetings. I think it was 2.
Oh, definitely a Brummie then. Yeah.
So, hey ho.
I think wasn't his debut at that Swindon meeting that got rained off or got abandoned halfway through? Or...
Oh, you've got a better memory than I have,
John.
Yeah, somebody out there will know. You've got a better memory than I have.
Yeah.
Not all the time. So.
Yes. I'm not allowed to say it.
I'm going to backtrack on some of these questions.
Okay.
Alan says, do you not think being able to see meetings online in the future when things are back to normal is a good idea? For me, away meetings I cannot get to thanks to work. I would love to see all clubs do this next year, if back to normal by then.
Well, reading between the lines, I think this is, from what the BSPA statement has said, I think they're possibly considering something along the lines. They want to say, but it's what the demand for it is. And so that's why I say, if you want this to happen, then, go to sportscentral.tv and get your ticket, $12.95. You haven't watched any Speedway all year, you can afford $12.95 for God's sake, and watch it and make the BSPA think about it.
It's cheaper than getting into the stadium, isn't it, really, if you think about it, because you've got all your travelling as well. So
yeah, and there's going to be interviews beforehand and behind the scenes and all sorts of stuff that you wouldn't get when you was watching it. So there are some benefits to it. I hope that not only do they make it a live stream, but they also make it available afterwards, still as a paid thing, so that people can. So wouldn't you love going to a meeting, it'd be a away meeting, and you could come back and think, "Oh, I really enjoyed that," and you could just watch it again straight away.
Yeah,
wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be good?
Well, I think you've been able to do that anyway with the with all the meetings that have been shown during the year, haven't they? But obviously, this is going to be slightly different because it's going to be a live event. So.
Exactly. You don't know what's going to happen. It's always the beauty of sport,
Exactly.
It's always the beauty of sport. I hear what you're saying, and I hope that they do look at it. I think it would be great. If you're a promoter though, at Swindon, for instance, and Birmingham were visiting, first of all, you'd be going, "What are you doing coming here? You're in the wrong league." But apart from that, would you not be worried as a promoter that because people can watch it online, the away supporters wouldn't travel? So therefore, that live stream, what monies are made available from that live stream have to be made available to that home promoter, don't they?
And of course, if the weather's iffy, it's not guaranteed that the home fans are going to necessarily travel if they can, especially if you've just got to have a long day at work and you don't really fancy going up and travelling the weekend. So.
Yeah, but some people do that and still end up at the wrong place.
Yeah.
He's got a new box of tricks. He's got a new box of tricks.
Duncan says, I'm off to Turin with my daughter to see Fast Fred win it. Hopefully, Bart will slip up in... Oh, be careful where I say that. Hopefully, Bart will slip up in the Friday night GP. Go, Freddie, says Duncan.
Fair enough. Yeah. A lot of people out there for Freddie. I mean, it would be great to see it go down to the wire, wouldn't it?
That'd be fantastic.
You know, and I think this format makes that more likely to happen. By the way, you only need you only need Bartok to have a bad meeting, and let's face it, it didn't start off particularly hot. He only needs to bring the wrong bike, or whatever it is, for it all to all of a sudden he's not at number one, he's at number three or something. It's very interchangeable at the moment, particularly with that top three. So yeah, it's just I see some good speedway racing. That's all. That's really. I love watching my speedway. I don't think there is any sport out there that makes you go, what? So many times.
Dominoes. Jack Wright says, wonder if Zagar would be more competitive if he actually needed to be with him already in next year's GP series. He really doesn't seem to be bothered where he finishes, to be honest.
That's not a bad point. He has a few, the odd good race, hasn't he? But I mean, that's a fair point. There is no... He has got that safety line already.
Yeah. I think that is a problem. It's probably something I could do with looking at, I think, in future years for qualification of riders, whether a rider that's already in the series should really be going in the qualifiers as well.
Lawrence says Bartos is on fire.
Have you anybody got an extinguisher? He is. Well, he certainly was at Prague. It was a very special speedway, I thought.
And another streaming question, which we won't know the answer to. Just wonder, would streaming breach the televising contract that Eurosport will presumably still hold in 2021? We don't know that.
We don't know.
No.
I don't. It's a possibility, but then again, we know, for instance, that they only hold that contract with the one league. So if you can't do it in the one league, it doesn't mean to say that you can't do it in the other leagues.
Yeah.
So there's wiggle room.
And Dunk says, what's my chances of cheering a Freddie win and getting out of the stadium alive?
Better than they would have been last year, because there's not so many
in there.
But good luck with that one.
Yeah, good luck.
I'm going to be watching that GP with interest now. Give us a wave. Shame we can't send him a Speedway Tavern t-shirt.
Yeah. Go to the airport.
Yeah. Give us a wave on the tally.
Somebody called Brian Buck, I ain't got a clue who he is. Smart Slick's best asset is his patience. He's fast and fearless, but he doesn't take reckless chances. He waits his chance and then takes it. He is a worthy world champion, I think, and deserves to retain the title this year, says Brian Buck.
I don't think there's any argument with that at all. Brian Buck wasn't he the one that turned up outside your door?
No, he didn't.
No, okay.
He didn't.
He didn't.
No.
Okay.
He was the one who didn't turn up.
Yeah, okay.
Sounds
that
like...
was his other son.
I ain't got a clue who that was.
No, okay.
No.
Yeah, it was too dark, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Lawrence is agreeing with you, Matt. He says, good point by Matt. Would home fans stay home and watch the stream and not go to the meetings? Lost revenue.
It's an interesting one. There needs to be... Yeah, it needs to be thought out. There is possibilities there, but it does...
It needs to try and make incentives really for people to go if they can, of course. But,
yeah, difficult. And that concludes the questions, so forth.
Oh, I'm going home now.
Yeah, see ya.
No, I keep forgetting I am home.
I think it's in the toilet, actually.
Okay, well, we've got another 5 minutes. I think we should go back to the British final and pin our colours to the mast. So, Chris,
Oh, can I go for
given that you know so much about Speedway,
and I always get it right.
yeah,
I know, yeah. Right then, okay. I'm going to go. No, I want to go second.
you want to go second?
Yeah, go on.
Go on then, Matt. You can go first.
I knew that was coming in my
Of
direction.
course, I'm not stupid.
I wonder who Matt will choose.
I'm going to go for Danny King.
I was going to go for him. Okay, I'll go for Barker.
Ben Barker.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, I'm tempted to go for Drew Kemp just to see the surprise on your faces. I'm going to go for Chris Harris.
Oh.
There you go.
I mean, I think Eddie Kerris as well. He's been sort of
That's
quite
true,
bullish about
yeah.
his chances, isn't he? And talking
Yeah.
up in the press. So,
It's his sort of track, isn't it? Of course.
yeah, he's got plenty of experience, of course. Just hasn't been able to get into the onto the top step yet in the British final. So.
The more I think about Lawrence is going to hate me now. The more I think about my choice of Chris Harris, the more I think, oh, that was stupid. You can't gate. But, we'll go with it.
So if one of us gets it right, me. The other two have to,
Optimistic, aren't you?
the other two have to do the show naked next time.
What again?
I know. I am naked from the belt down.
Yeah, nobody's surprised by that. Really, we just wish the belt was over your face. But
Simon Corbett's gone for Danny King. Brian says, hang on.
to be fair, if I'm honest, I would have gone for Danny King if it hadn't already been chosen.
Yeah, Lawrence has gone for Bomber.
Of course, because he'd be given the sack if he wasn't.
Yeah.
Lawrence, mate, how is that recovery coming?
Duncan says, Crummy can still drop a quick clutch. Oh, God. I was close with that one. Duncan says, look out for my daughter wearing a Tavern T-shirt, middle of turn 1 to 2 on the Saturday night.
Oh, well, we will. We definitely doing that.
Freeze framing.
Yeah.
That'll make a great backdrop, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you need to buy some new teeth, mate.
Jack says, agree with Matt. Would think there's too many people agreeing with Matt at the moment.
That's two tonight as well. So.
It's got to stop this. Would think at some stage in the lockdown, Danny has got in some laps at Foxhall. Also, because of that, maybe Drew Kemp can do well.
I think Drew Kemp would be a really good outside bet, to be fair. It'd be interesting to see how he goes. It'd be a great one to go on the trophy, actually. I'd like that. There we go.
And he's copied and pasted that twice, hoping to get 3 likes for Matt there, but it's ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. Lawrence says, Bomber can't. Okay. Well, there you go. No, we can't. Whatever it is. There you go. So we've all pinned our colours to the mass. And
Right,
that's
I just want to finish to say, first of all, everybody stay safe.
Oh, sorry, I've switched it off.
Yeah.
No.
Did you?
No, not really.
Everybody stay safe. These, I don't know about you, but this second time through feels a little bit scarier than the first time through. So, just guys, just stay safe. I would love tons and tons of you to register at sportcentral.tv.
I've put the links up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think £12.95 is excessive. It should be good meeting to watch. This is our sport. If we don't support it, nobody else is gonna. Certainly, the governments ain't gonna give us any money. Ain't gonna try and everything. Everything is football. I was watching on ITV, BBC the other night, and they're saying, yes, we need to talk about all the other sports that are struggling, and then they just went on about football.
Yep.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
And I just thought, I wanted to scream at the thing. So if we don't support it, nobody else is going to do. So, get your £12.95 out your pocket and watch this thing. Also, Curtis Sport. You go to curtissport.com. I think again,
I'll put that link up as well.
He's putting it on the link.
Yeah.
That's for the program. I think £5 for a British final program is not bad going. Do you, Matt?
No,
I think that's pretty good. So let's support this sport that we all love so much, and hopefully next year we can actually go to a Speedway match and say hello to each other, and throw insults at each other because our team's better than yours, and then thoroughly enjoy it and go and have a drink in the bar afterwards. Yeah. That would be brilliant. But,
I never thought I'd miss arguing with Gravely fans, but I have. So.
I think that's a great place to leave it.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Yeah,
Good night, everyone.
Don't know when we're on next, but just keep watching this space, and it'll be around the GPs that we do this. So, take care, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Speedway Tavern. Speedway Tavern. Welcome to